Hello there, it's your Wisconsin Wine Guide. I am back again for another wine review. That means it must be Wednesday. And also, it is the last quarter of the year, which means it is wine season once again. These wine seasons seem to come really quick. For those who don't know, we consider wine season in the industry from September 1st through January 31st, even though we're drinking wine all year long. So here's what happens here for those who are new. These are wines that you can find in your everyday liquor store, grocery store, and even some wine shop shelves. I go through and select some wines, and then I give you my personal review, what I think of the wines, with a very, very simple system as to whether or not you should purchase. So it goes something like this. Double thumbs up. That means the wine is exceptional. That means you must purchase this wine. In fact, you must purchase this wine, or you should purchase this wine. It's a high recommendation, and keep a couple of bottles on hand. Thumbs up simply means that, you know what, it's a pretty solid wine. I mean, it's a wine I would recommend, whether or not I would keep some on hand, depends on facts and circumstances, but I think the wine is very solid, and it should be a wine that you will want to drink and want to share with others. 3/4 says that, if it's at a party, I'll drink it. Okay, I won't turn it down. You'd be surprised at what you can find at parties these days when you just go to someone's house and you're drinking wine. Sometimes you find those wines that, wow, I haven't heard of this wine. So I would drink this wine if I'm at a party. Halfway, not so much for me. There were some things missing, some elements out of balance, not lively enough. It just didn't work for my palate. But it doesn't mean it will not work for yours. So you give it a try. Thumbs down is always easy when I would not recommend it wine, or say, you know what, for me, I would not buy it. I would never buy it again. I would recommend that you don't. But again, these are simply just my opinion. You taste it and allow your palate to guide you to the wine that you would enjoy most. So let's get down to today's featured wine. We are going to be visiting Cupcake. Cupcake has a new wine in the market called Lighthearted. Now, this is a very interesting, we all are familiar with Cupcake wines, but the Lighthearted series wines are wines that are, let's just call it what it is. These wines are good for you. Okay? So here's what they say about the Cupcake wines, a Lighthearted brand. So I'm going to be tasting the Chardonnay, and the Pinot Noir, both out of California. So here's what they say. The Cupcake Lighthearted wines are 80 calories less than your typical wine. So 5-ounce glass of port, 80 calories less, which typically would be like 125, 135, in calories per 5-ounce serving. It's less than 1 gram of sugar, natural sugar, per 5-ounce serving. Also, it is vegan, gluten-free, and it also has lower alcohol. So each of the Lighthearted wines, the Pinot Grigio, the Rosé, and plus these two here, they're coming in at 8% alcohol. So again, lower alcohol, lower calories, less amount of sugar, vegan, gluten-free. They say this is all good for you. Now, between you and I don't think about the calories in the wine, even though we're in that time now where people are always asking, how many calories is in that wine? I don't really think about that. I think, for me, thinking about calories and getting a little tipsy just doesn't go into the same category. But that's for me. Especially if I'm going to enjoy a good glass of wine. I don't want to think about, oh my God, it's affecting my waistline. I just want to enjoy the beauty of that wine. So let's give this a taste, and let's see how it goes. So as usual, I'm going to pour both wines first. And as I always say, I like to have wines, a couple of wines from the same winery and or winemaker. Gives me an idea about what the consistency in the winemaking process is going to be. They also say with these wines, they are barrel aged, okay? Not as much as would be for the typical wines in the Cupcake line. Mallow, a secondary fermentation on the white. Again, not as much extraction, when it comes to coloring, on the reds, etc. But just a lighter, more elegant wine. That's the description. Something that's going to be not going to be overpowering, but it's also, again, here's the catch-all, it's going to be good for you. Okay? So here we are with the Chardonnay. Nice golden colored Chardonnay. Get my white background here. Nice golden colored Chardonnay here. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful color. All right, same here. Straw yellow, you know, from clear to straw yellow. So nice color in Chardonnay. All right, you can even see it in the bottle here. Look at that color. Check out that color. Nice straw yellow. And then the Pinot Noir. Okay, get a look at that. When I look at this in my white background, Pinot Noir has a nice, simple garnet color, you know, very light, kind of dark, well, I'd say garnet down to ruby, but very light. You know, you can't really tell in the video, but it's very a kind of light color. Even seems rather light in the bottle too. All right, so let's give it a smell. Each wine. Ah, beautiful nose on the Chardonnay. All right. Ah, I mean, nice citrus, apple. So apple, citrus coming here, and there's a subtle note of vanilla. It's very, very subtle. So that will be the Chardonnay. Now for the Pinot Noir. Tart cherry for sure. I mean, it's something, you know, when you pick up that tart cherry nose or flavor or aromatic on the Pinot Noir. Because sometimes they can change, but this is like straight, almost like the juice is freshly squeezed, you know? So it definitely has that fresh smell to it. With subtle notes of wood notes, but very subtle. I mean, so the nose on both of these is really nice. Get this turning around, right? And you can barely see them, but the nose is pretty nice. All right. For now, for the taste, I do a two-step process. First is the rinse. You know, I want to feel the acidity. Red and white, want to feel the acidity. Without the acidity, the wine is dead to me. So let's do our rinse here on the Chardonnay. Wow, that has really good flavor for the Chardonnay. You know, I must say, very refreshing, very clean tasting. I mean, the notes blended with the oak notes, they're there. Light, again, refreshing. Little soft to medium acidity. You know, not like striking, you know, but just right there. A very easy drink, but it's carrying a lot of flavor. Finish is nice. I can still taste that. Very clean tasting here. Now for the Pinot Noir. The Ritz. Again, I'm going to rinse this one twice. There's so much fruit presence from the Pinot of the Chardonnay. I think it overpowered this a little. So let me give it another rinse here. All right. Again, light, good cherry flavor, but kind of empty. You know, I think it's, but again, it's a lighter type of wine. But I think it's missing some body, you know, like it was maybe over-filtered, you know. But again, it's a lighter wine. It really does taste like it was like freshly squeezed grape juice, okay? So now let's give you my grading. Chardonnay. Okay. It's not going to knock your socks off. But if you want an easy drinking Chardonnay, I mean, say you're new to wine, you know, some wines can be too sweet, some can be too dry. It does have a dry feel, but it has a nice fruity presence to it. You know, it has nice character. You know, structure's decent, but it's very, very light. So it's not going to be rich and robust and bold like you can find in some Chardonnays. But it has a lot of character to it. So I'm going to give the Lighthearted Chardonnay just for a nice, easy, everyday drink. It probably makes an awesome summer wine. And just a very simple, unassuming, everyday drinking wine. Just because. I'm going to give this 3/4. Okay, for the Chardonnay. I think it's fairly decent, you know, for what it's being promoted as. It's just a lighter, simpler, somewhat healthier alternative for you, you know, in drinking wine, especially if you're new to drinking wine. I think it'd be a good place to start. So 3/4, you know, on this one. Again, I wouldn't turn this down at a party if it was there, you know, because I'm just at the party. I'm there just to have fun, have a good time. So I wouldn't turn it down. So 3/4 on the Chardonnay. For the Pinot Noir, now, when it comes to red wines, especially the varietal, I always expect more. If this was grape juice, spot on, okay? But as far as thinking about it being a Pinot Noir and what you look for in a Pinot Noir, it's missing a lot. You know, it has like an emptiness to it. I mean, like its soul is missing, you know, on the Pinot Noir. So in this case, I'm gonna go halfway. You know, halfway on the Pinot Noir. I mean, that's just not for me. It's not working for me. It doesn't mean it won't work for you, but it's not working for me. It's just like missing something. Let me give one more taste. So it goes in, boom. Okay, it's like grape juice, basically. It's like tart grape juice. So halfway on the Pinot Noir. You know, I won't give it a thumbs down because it's going to appeal to someone, but halfway, it wouldn't be a favorite of mine. Wouldn't be a pick I would pick up. And 3/4 of the Chardonnay because I think, you know, for a white wine, you know, for the new wine drinker or someone crossing over into dry wines, or for someone, you know, who wants, you know, character, you know, wants flavor, but not something that's going to be so overpowering, you have it right here. 3/4, Lighthearted Cupcake, Lighthearted Chardonnay. Halfway, not so much for me on the Lighthearted Pinot Noir. So this is your Wisconsin wine guy, and I'm going to finish drinking this white here, saying as always, let your palate be the guide with selecting your wine, and I'll see you next time. Ciao!